I want you to kill Matt Clarke. Can you do that?
Matt Clarke? Yeah. You know, I had to change my name because of him. I owe him a lot. So yeah, I can kill him for you.
I need you to tire him out. Stretch him to his limit. The only way to beat him is to force him to make a mistake.
So you want me to rob your trains, steal your cargo, and then bring it to you?
Not all the cargo, just specifically marked crates.
Help me out. I'm confused here.
That's not surprising, you simpleton.
So what is in these crates?
It's anthrax for part of my plan.
You now own 55% of the former Flawed to-go railroad. The late Mild to-go's son has maintained a 45% share.
Ned to go?
No, I went before I came in.
There was never any medicine. It was only marked medicine.
Then what is it?
It's anthrax. And a sample of the pasture vaccine. We're gonna spread some among their buffalo herds up there. Then the natives will get it. An outbreak occurs, and they will either die or be forced to flee their land. Then I shall move in and buy it.
I specifically had the message say, meet at the stream and out of the woods, north of paradise. Well, baby, I was here. The stream out of the woods, north of paradise.
Exactly. The stream out of the woods, north of paradise.
No, the stream in out of the woods, north of paradise.
Right. And we are at the stream, out of the woods, north of paradise.
No, you metal muffin, the stream in out of the woods. That's out of the woods over there.
No, that over there is in the woods. Here is out of the woods.
No, I wanted us to meet in out of the woods over there.
If we met over there, we would be in the woods.
Oh, for Pete's sake, never mind.
Lil, honey, I will come with you. You look more uptight than I've ever seen you.
You and the marshal look so tired and beat. I'll say why you two look more worn out than one of Ethel Tower's old corsets.
Yes, another robbery, same description of the men. But let's talk about it after Lil is done, please.
Help me get away from myself. Wanna an animal.
I think this song may have put me into early puberty.
Matt, can you tell us anything new about these train heists?
But these hits seem so organized. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
And they leave a lot of valuable items in there. The porters have noted that some sealed cases get taken.
But let's just get you home.
All right, Lil. I am tired.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the expressed written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
And see it, you'll love it. And it's all done in the best possible way.
Hey everybody, happy Friday out there on the other side of your computer monitors or phone screens. How are you all doing today? See a few people already here and chatting. Let's go straight to the greetings. Alphabetically, I didn't pay attention to who was here first. We have 156 Andrew. How are you, my Scottish Glaswegian friend? Lee from Anfield Road just popped in. Bernard C., nice to have you here. Jean Ricard, one of the valiant knights of the Rhomboid table. Speaking of which, unless he left, he may have popped out. But we did have C.E. and I, John, Chicago, Eastern Illinois. He's co-host on Steve Childer's Friday afternoon lunchtime show. But he was here, but maybe checked out. But he's disappeared from my screen. Anyhow, Jean-Marc, Kyle Stevens, welcome in. Another guy that's becoming a regular here. Leslie Gilpin, great to have you here, sir. Another series of videos this week. My friend Andrew, March West Junction, one of the longtime supporters of this channel, and myself, thank you very much. Mick, hope you're well. Another new guy. I shouldn't say new. Some of you have been here. I say new, but compared to some others. Mick, another regular now. Dino, talking a lot on Facebook too. Nice to have you here, my friend. Let's see. My Railway Channel, welcome in. Randall Ellison, another longtime friend. Vaunted knight of the Rhomboid table as well. Clive just came in. How are you, Clive? Glad to have you here. Ray Ron, welcome to the channel again. My buddy Roger from St. Blasey Model World. I saw your videos today. I don't think I've commented yet because I've been kind of busy today. Tim J.D. Dowd, one of the original knights of the Rhomboid table. Great to have you. And another one of those major catalysts, Tom Couples, another veteran knight of the Rhomboid table. And if you don't know what a knight of the Rhomboid table is, where have you been? And there comes our Sergeant at Arms. Joseph Agliato just popped in, our Sergeant at Arms for the Knights of the Rhomboid table. And Trainwild just came in. Welcome in, Trainwild. And Steve's Double O Gauge is here. Simon, another longtime friend. Great to have you. I think I've caught... Oh, Mark, Model Railway Fantasia is now in here. And I think that's everybody. Okay, so the quick update. For those of you who pay attention and follow one way or the other, Joyce came down with a really bad cold that's turned into a sinus infection. She lost her voice Wednesday. I took her to the doctor after work on Wednesday, and no pneumonia, which she was worried about because one of her partners came down with pneumonia. Now, normally pneumonia is not, quote, contagious, but it is. If somebody is coughing and wheezing and spits on you, you can get it. Hey, Nancy J, nice to have you here. Christopher's back. Hey, Christopher's Hobby Blog, another longtime original knight of the Rhomboid table. Hi is here. Great to have you. Hi from Denmark. So we've got 3 of our continents, 3 out of 7 continents. It'd be cool if we got somebody from Antarctica, but that's it. But yeah, Joyce cannot talk. She is planning to come down, but she will type only or wave. She's been talking to me with a signboard the last, well, today. Yesterday it was with a notepad and pen. But she's been talking to me via signboard, so I don't know if she'll be silly and try to do that on the signboard as well. But she is going to come down for a bit. So anyhow, it's been a relatively quiet week. Hey, there's Curly and Kiwi Dave. Nice to have you two coming in. And so anyhow, I did in the middle of the week, I had a small mail call. And the small mail call, I just did a quickie video. I didn't even open the box. And I got a couple of mentions like, dude, you didn't even open the box. Well, it's because it's the same cars that I showed in the video last week. This is just the last 2. It's a 6-car consist. And the 2 cars that came in look just like 2 of the cars that were in the first pack. So I just said, hey, this came in. And I did do something. Now, knocking on wood, this is nervous because, first of all, it's no big deal. A first grader could have done this, but it's the first time I've ever done it. I went ahead and when I got notified that the expansion car set was in for my Munich-Nuremberg Express, I went ahead and bought the sound module that goes with the first and only train I ever bought that didn't have a sound module in it. Well, actually, the P8 doesn't have a sound module in it either. But yeah, I went ahead and bought the little sound module, and I installed it myself. Now, again, it was super easy plug and play. So, but it was the first time I've done it. So there's a little bit of stupid pride going, nice job, Anthony, you didn't fuck it up. Because I could have. I easily could have. Well, somebody popped in and somebody popped out. I keep watching my list here. So I'll go to the chat here. So I'm not looking over there, but can look here on the chat list. But the chat is bouncing back and forth. Maybe somebody didn't like me dropping an F-bomb there, but it's my chat, and I'll drop whatever bombs I want to drop. Hey, Trackside Mike is here. Nice to have you. So now we've got 2 of the countries on this continent represented. So anyhow, that was the big deal. So it does have sound, and when I get to it in a few minutes. The other big news is that for those of you who care, and I know it's not many, Matt Clarke Series 3 has episodes 1, 2, and 3 were put up since the last live stream. I'm trying to put them out Saturdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays. Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday. Now, I have 5 in the bank. You've already seen 3. 4 is set for Monday. I'm sorry, 4 is set to come out tomorrow morning. And 5 is set to come out on Monday. Now, unfortunately, with Joyce being sick, I haven't been able to record voices. So I don't know if I'll get the Wednesday episode up in time. I don't know, because right now I haven't been able to make episode 6 because Joyce has a couple of voices to do in it, and she hasn't been able to do voices for several days. And so I don't know. I'm hoping that she'll have some voice tomorrow or Sunday that I can do it. It only takes me, once I have the voices done, it takes me a couple of hours to put the scene together unless it's got a lot of detail in it. But anyhow, I want to encourage people that are Matt Clarke fans, please watch them and please leave me comments. For no other reason than I am a very, very uptight and nervous person, and if you watch the video, please leave a comment just to let me know how you're doing. And again, if you're new to the channel, episodes 1, 2, and 3 do explain the plot, but you don't really know who these characters are. Now, obviously, you met the new gang. Now, I want for those of you who got it and those who don't, the gang is called the Four Finger Gang because everybody in that gang is missing a finger. Now, that's based on the fact that 2 of the characters are based on real characters. The Black Ranger is an actor named Walter Emmanuel Jones who played the Black Ranger in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV show. It's the face I used as his face, and in real life, he's missing a finger. And if you ever watched Power Rangers with your kids or grandkids back in the day, they always did shots where they kind of tried to hide that he was missing a finger. But he is missing a finger. Telly Savalas, who is turned into Sal Tavalis, I just inverted his, a spoonerism, and I inverted his couple letters from his first and last name and just inverted them. In real life, he is missing part of his index finger on his right hand. And then, obviously, Fredo Baggins, played by Randall Ellison here, loses a finger in the Lord of the Rings book. And in Assassin's Creed, up to a certain point, the assassins all had to amputate a finger for that switch knife off their wrist blade to work. Up until the Middle Ages, when Leonardo da Vinci in the game invented a way you didn't have to cut off your finger for it to work. But be that as it may, so they're all missing fingers. And that was the joke in the gang. So anyhow, this Series 3 did take me a lot of hard time. If anybody watched that hour-long babble, it was very hard to write Series 3 because I just could not get in the vein to it. I struggled with the plot. I rewrote the plot. I mean, the basic plot was always the same, but how I got from A to Z, I kept changing bits. I would write up to a certain scene, decide I didn't like it was going, rip it back, write a couple of scenes, and then no. And finally I had that eureka moment, and I broke through, and I came up with that, with the plot that I was happy with. It got rid of the writer's block. It just took me 4 months to get there. And I'm happy with it. I tried to do callbacks to everything. So there's a lot of jokes that reference Series 1 and Series 2. So if you never saw Series 1 and Series 2, there are some jokes as we go along you won't get. Episodes 1 and Episode 2 were really just introducing the plot for Series 3. And more of that plot was revealed in Episode 3 that came out on Wednesday. But again, I hope you're liking it. But I will share this one story, and then we'll get to the trains, as everybody is still saying hi to each other. A funny thing, and we were really expecting, Joyce especially was expecting comments. When I wrote Scene 3, we knew that there would be a parody song, joke song that Lil McGill would sing. Either a funny version of a serious song. We knew Rusty Twanger wasn't going to be in the scene. I didn't want to try to squeeze Rusty Twanger in there. There was already a lot in that scene, so I cut out the Rusty Twanger part and threw in a flippant line that he's out of the country and he couldn't be there. So, but we had 3 ideas for Lil's song. And the one that really broke us up laughing the most was the one we used. And then after we decided to go with that one, Joyce started having second thoughts. Joyce was like, oh, the lyrics in that song are kind of rough. I said, honey, I'll bleep it out. Okay, we'll bleep it out. And the joke was, how long would it take people to recognize the song? Because it's done in a very slow operatic style. But it's one of the wildest rock songs of the last 30 years, 9 Inch Nails. And Lil singing it on stage in the Old West was just hysterical to Joyce and me. We laughed at it. But Joyce was really worried people might be offended by it. And I'm like, Joyce, if they're watching Matt Clarke this long, they're not going to be offended by it. But she was a little worried about it. But we did one take of it where Joyce sang it perfectly and beautifully, and then she flubbed the middle bit. She got tongue-tied and flubbed it. And I really, really wish I had saved it, because although the 4th version, which is the take, the problem is by the 4th take, she was singing the actual song and started speeding up. And it's like, honey, slow down. While she's recording, I keep going, slow down, because she's trying to sing the normal speed. But that was a lot of fun. So that's it. Hey, Francisco Soto Hernandez, saludos. And so that's, Matt Clarke is very heavy on our minds because we're putting a lot of work into this and we really want people to watch it and enjoy it and have fun with it, I hope. Yeah, I mean, we try to keep it train related. You've got the big plot now, but a lot more is going to happen. Scene 4 tomorrow is, I think, is very funny. I think all the scenes so far have been funny. Scene 1 was a little drier because we're really it's a narrative establishing the plot. All right, so anyhow, let's go look at the trains that we're running today. Today I am running that Munich-Nuremberg Express on lane 1 here, line 1, being pulled by a BR 101. So that 6-car full rake set is here. So we will let him take off. And then in lane 2 is my Czech Eurocity Express, and pulled by a Czech Class 371 locomotive. So we will put him in motion. Lane 3 is my Deutsche Bahn, the German Federal Rail System. It is my Intercity 1 being pulled by a Class 218 locomotive. So we will get that one going. Come on. Come on, fingers, work. And then lane 4 is the Metronome, which is today being pushed by a Class 146. It's the only locomotive I have that does the Metronome since it's a private company. Let's slow it down just a bit here. And then behind it is that BR442 that I just had the sound module put in. So that was something I'm very happy with. So we'll get that in motion. I don't know if you'd hear that. I'll wait till it comes around again real quick. I just threw that sound on for a minute for the heck of it. I will now turn that sound off. And then way in the back, we've got the P8. Will be running. And then it's probably going to take a rest for a while. So that just leaves the floor. Whoops. Dude. Oh, rats. What happened here? Hang on. How did they change lanes, dude? How did you change lane? Crap. How did that happen? Oh my God. How did you change lane? Because that's open right there. God damn it, I closed that. Oh, there will be a slight delay while Anthony Dodge corrects a bonehead maneuver. Oh my God, I made sure those were closed. Hopefully nothing is too burned out. Fortunately, you guys can only hear me, but yep, bonehead move. I don't know how that opened up. I know I closed it yesterday after I moved the trains around because I ran everybody to make sure we were good. Man, oh shucks. Crap. Well, that was an absolute bonehead. And let's go to the floor view real quick and see what's running down here. Keeping the Beatles theme up on that one. We got the Beatles album freight cars on one lane, and we got the Beatles singles train on the other. All right, so to let you know what I was dealing with is one of my switches, when I turned the system on here, just before I went live, must have popped, and it opened, and so two of my trains crossed and ran into each other. And we're having the opposite of a tug of war, a push of war on lane 1. But they both seem to be running okay now. So, but yeah, I test ran them in last night to make sure everybody was good to go. So I don't know why that popped open. Weird things happen, so oops. All right, so now I'm done with my yakking, and you guys can see trains. I will point out that there are 2 new cameras. There are 2 new cameras. One is down in the bottom right-hand corner. Actually, that was new last week, but that is a 4K camera. I don't know if you guys are noticing down there how much better you can see the village down in the bottom left-hand corner, which I have to point to my bottom right-hand side, but this is a new camera. Hey, Ray Bertelson, how are you? Chris Hattrell, how are you? Well, I was saying a lot of it, just not loud enough to be heard, Mark. Hey, Andy T is here. Great to have you here. So just to prove that everybody... But this is a new camera. This is 4K. Now, my stream's not in 4K. It's only in 1080p. But eventually, I will probably put enough 4K cameras on that I might do a 4K live stream. My computer should be able to handle it. The Mallard is not running. Okay. Probably just needs a little more juice. Or, typical of the Mallard, it hits a point where... That Mallard is such a cheap POS. At the risk of being mean, it's a cheap POS, and it goes around curves, and sometimes it just wiggles itself where one of its contacts just isn't on the rail. Well, that's its problem. It's supposed to run on coal, and it's running on electricity. And then the other new 4K camera is this one. So you get a much brighter, clearer view of the station, but it is still trying to learn to focus. But this is actually a 4K camera that is broadcasting in 4K. Now it is broadcasting right now at 30 frames per second. I could kick it up to 60 frames per second. Oh, the one camera I did not make sure is set up right. That one, yeah, that's okay. Maybe I can move it a little bit out more. Dude. There. That's what I want you to do. Hey, John Benicki, welcome in. Nice to have you here. Anybody else I missed? This is one of my new Nexigo cameras, but it's been there for a while. But it's a good image. I like these Nexigos. I replaced my Logitechs with Nexigo. I only have one Logitech camera left. I originally had 6 Logitechs, but they began fighting with each other even before I got the new computer. And so I started getting rid of them because my computer didn't even read them as Logitech anymore. It was reading them as generic cameras because they were old webcams. So I've only got one, I only have one Logitech camera still connected to my layout. And it's, where is it? This one. This is the only Logitech camera I have left, which is a good one. Yeah, because that's a Nexigo now too. Now, I do have... Yeah, I love that two-tone. Even though it's got Piko's name on it too, I do love the two-tone. I do have a new camera, but it's not in the multicam view. This is when I got rid of the camera that was over here. When I got rid of that station cam over there and replaced it with the 4K, I moved that one because it wasn't a bad camera. It just wasn't a great one for that angle. So I moved it over here. There we go. So I technically now have another camera on the layout. It's just not in the main, but I'm now up to 13 cameras. I actually tried to go 14, but the one I replaced with the camera up there, the 4K camera up there, it was acting up anyhow. And the only way it works is if I have it at 640 by 480, which is crappy resolution. So this is a new view. Yeah, no, we're not really. You could fit my house about 20 times in Miniature Wonderland. Closer look at the, let's see, we'll try to catch which ones are coming around. Joyce view might be, where is it? No, quit going. Nope. Workstation cam, this one. This might be the best one to get a quick view of it, except it's going up, so let's do up the ramp. Up the ramp might give you a really good close view of it. I've had the two-tone for at least a year. At least a year. Hey, Lindy, how are you? But what I'll try to do is when it comes to the, let's see, that looks better. This 4K camera looks better than the other 4K camera. But what I'll do is I'll try to stop it here on the DB 4K, this camera. Come on. Stop. Oops, stop. Let's see, Jean-Ricard. Okay, so that's my only 218, although I'm hoping to add another one to it within the next month. If Roco ever gets it out to the stores, it was due in November. All right, so there we go. Okay, take off. There you go. That was the 218 close-up. You say you like that new view here? That's because you suggested it, Jean-Ricard. That's just you patting yourself on the back. But it's different. I mean, this is a totally different view than you've had before. You kind of get mentally blind to the same old view. So this one, you now have a new view. The problem is I can't see the monitor to adjust that camera. The camera's actually, my monitor's here and the camera's further against the wall. So I'm trying to guess how to angle it so you're seeing the track and not the wall. I had to keep adjusting it, and then the wire will, as the wire falls, it moves it again. But to me, there's not a whole lot that's exciting from this view because I've got nothing built up here. There's just a old station, and actually I bought that station because I needed pieces out of it to bash to make other things. And I bought it for 40 bucks and just pirated the pieces out of the model. Oh, and anyhow, so I got to do this. Sorry, everybody. My grandson's probably waiting. He not take a nap today? Kyan! Opa loves you. Hi there, Kyan. Hi, sweetheart Lindy. Hope you're all right. You just bought it yourself? Cool. Yours has the red bogies under the... You must have gotten the Piko version. Mine has the red bogies too. Red bogies and then gray bogies. It's just black and red, white and gray. That's why you like it, not because you suggested it. Sure, sure. But I didn't have time this week. I was working on other things where I want to see if I can put a 15 camera layout as a super multi-view, which would just make the images so small that they would drive people like Bernie crazy. But, you know, I'm trying more to move to bigger camera views, the individual cameras, especially as I get better cameras here. See, the funny thing is, the station view looks better here in the smaller one than when I did the full screen here. I don't know why that is, although I do need to adjust it. But if anybody hasn't seen the layout, we'll do it. We call this up the ramp, so we'll just follow this guy around. So there he goes up the ramp, and he goes into Delmenhorst Station here, which is an actual station in Germany, the town of Delmenhorst, where for 14, 15 years I ran a student exchange program. And so this will be the kind of more realistic side. It's based on the city of Delmenhorst, and we'll have things of the city of Delmenhorst going whenever I get my butt in gear and finish building it. It will also have a Fowler car system, which I'm trying to get ready to work on, but I wanted to get Matt Clarke out of the way. All right, now it's coming around right in front of me. This view is right in front of me. And then also right in front of me, going the other way, the workstation cam. And then coming around here. And then it goes out of view there, except I got to bring this one up. But this is basically another 11-lane view. You know, I've got the 11-lane view right here next to me, and now basically you're still seeing 11 lanes, and you're seeing a lot of my parked stock that isn't running right now. But yeah, it's a different view. It's a part of the layout you don't see because the overhead doesn't do it. So let's see how the floor cam is doing. Let's see how my second week of Beatles theme. Well, welcome, Joel, from YouTube. We got a night shoe here. And now to clear your nights at the Rhomboid table. All right, well, if you got a channel, you can add your channel here. You live in Germany. I got into model trains because of all my traveling by train in Germany. First with my students from Urban High School here in Toledo, Ohio. And then my wife and I, when the exchange program petered out, my wife and I started going to Germany on our own. First time we ever traveled overseas without students in tow. But nice to have you here. I hope you'll find something you like. No, the red double-deckers are regional only. They are not designed for high speed. The white double-deckers are high speed. Although I think the white double-decker, the IC2, is parked. Now this red single-decker, the Express, coming around the corner here, the Express is, those cars are designed for high speed. I'm not running them at high speed, although they're probably doing a scale of about 90 kilometers an hour. But this is the one where I got 4 cars a couple of weeks ago, and the other 2 cars came in today. In fact, the first 2 cars behind the locomotive are the 2 new cars. But that is my Munich-Nuremberg Express from Märklin. But again, if you didn't know, I will do this. Some of you have seen this a million times. But this is my layout in a very lame format because I just used Paint. I used Microsoft Paint and just drew this up to give people an idea. I am sitting right here in the middle. Now, this part here is a little different now because I now have a dual computer setup. So instead of laptop, Central Station 3 tablet, it's computer screen, tablet below my computer screen, and then the Central Station 3 over here. And this is over here, still my test track, but it's actually to my left. And then this used to be my tool area, but it's now a bit of a work area. And then I have two tables. That side is 8 foot wide by 12.5 deep. That side is 8 foot wide by 11.5 deep. And the middle is 2.5 feet deep by 6 foot wide. So it's 8 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot, which adds up to 22 feet along the back. And the outer run, lane 1, is a 82 foot run. And the whole thing has 400 feet of running. But I just run my trains. I have nothing programmed. I don't use any computer thing like iTrains or train control or anything like that. I don't have sections, block sections. My trains don't stop at the station. I have ADD, and I just like watching my trains go in circles. Not everybody enjoys that, but I just like to watch my trains run in circles. If I want them to stop at a station, I want to pretend they're stopping at a station, I'll do it manually. So if Jean Ricard or somebody gives me grief, Thomas at Split Rock wants to give me grief about, you never stop your trains at the station, then I will just say, okay, fine, to appease you. Do. There. The train now stops at the station. And you can pretend people are getting off and getting on. And then slowly, it pulls away again. Hey, Raymond Legs is here. Steve Childers is here. How are you, Steve? Raymond? Yeah, that's it. It's just the light. Yes, the Munich Express can be push-pull. It can go control cab first, as I'm sure Jean Ricard will tell you. Jean Ricard. I'm picking on you today, Jean. Actually, I did play the station announcement, Jean Ricard. You just didn't hear it. Oh, Joel, the double-deckers run everywhere. There's not a place in Germany I haven't ridden on double-deckers. Now, I will say down in the southern part of Bavaria, they are, especially in the Kempten, Lindau, that area, I don't see them as much, but I still do see them occasionally. But yeah, the double-deckers are everywhere. All right, let's go to the 11-lane view and see what's happening. There we go. Nice little, that's a nice clear picture. Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely true, Raymond. And of course, we see plenty of mixed. Like when Joyce and I are in Hamburg, because we're in Hamburg a lot. When Joyce and I are in Hamburg, you will see all kinds of mixed cars where they've got Czech, Austrian, and even Hungarian and Polish EC wagons, Eurofirma wagons, all on one train. And then when you get into south, the eastern part of Bavaria, and you see all the Alex trains. Alex is funny because they have so many different colors. They'll have double deckers mixed with single deckers. They'll have the green Nahverkehr wagons with the the AMBZ class. I'm just gonna screw up the numbers, but they'll have so many different types and colors. They're gray livery, they're green livery, they're white and green livery. No, I do not have any Polish trains, but Mark at Model Railway Fantasia does. And I will say this, Poland has got some cool looking passenger cars and modern trains. A lot of cool ones. You ride the... My wife and I only rode the Alex trains twice, Joel, and my wife hates them. My wife does not like the Alex trains. But there's that Munich-Nuremberg Express. Now, I just, of course, since my layout is based on northern Germany, basically, Joel, my layout is a very fictional and not prototype imaginary run between the city of Delmenhorst over here, which is an actual city. It's a suburb of Bremen. And then on the other side, on the other side, if I can get to it, where is it? Longview here. This side will eventually be made to look like sort of a hybrid of Hanover and Bremen. Because that's my adopted hometown in Germany, is Delmenhorst. Because I spent 17 months of June in Delmenhorst. It's my adopted German hometown. I was made an honorary citizen. My wife and I, we were made honorary citizens of Delmenhorst. We are very proud of that. We love the town. And so we created the actual Delmenhorst station, and we created the actual Delmenhorst station over there, and I scratch built it, but it is a 100% accurate portrayal. The only thing that is not 100% accurate is that the long platform, which is platforms 2, 3, I would have needed a 18-foot long table to get the platform up to the scale 14-foot length. But inside, which nobody can see, length, depth, height, it is 100% 187 scale representation of the Delmenhorst station. Both above ground, and I'm slowly trying to build the town of Delmenhorst here, but I've got to custom make the town hall of Delmenhorst, so that's been a problem because I'm failing at it. And so I was hoping I could find a way to 3D print a version of it, but that's also hard. And but until recently, every train we have here, my wife and I have ridden on, except the steamers. But every locomotive here, except for the Austrian and Czech railjet and the freight trains, but almost all the passenger trains except the railjets, my wife and I have ridden on in real life. And that was the original rule, is I had to, to buy the model, we had to have ridden on it in Germany. That was a way to keep me from going crazy. But we have broken that rule. Whoops, not that. Oh, I moved it. Sorry, guys, you're getting all the wrong stuff. I jumped way down too far. Sorry about that, guys. Hope I didn't just make you sick. But so we've ridden the Munich-Nuremberg Express from Nuremberg to Munich. We've ridden the IC1. We've ridden the Metronome many times. We've ridden the Alex train a couple of times. We rode the Czech EC from Dresden to Prague. We rode the Czech EC, EC171. We rode. It started in Hamburg, and went to, and then we picked it up in Dresden, and then took it from Dresden down to Prague to visit Prague. Yeah, I have seen those. Hey, there's Andy. Nice to have you, Andy. Glad you're here. But yeah, and Raymond, I'm sort of the same. I do, let's go to the multi-view, even if it drives people's eyes crazy. But yeah, while Delmenhorst will be very accurate, Delmenhorst itself is just a standard North German town, and in a lot of ways, you could place it in many areas of Central Europe, and it could work as a Czech town, it could work as an Austrian town, German, Dutch, Luxembourg. So I'm anybody who knows me knows I am not a prototype guy. The only thing I like prototype are my short trains. Like all my regional trains are the standard locomotive, 4 cars, control cab. So my Metronome, my Regios, my Deutsche Bahn Regios, the IC2 are in the standard consist. My ICE3 is a 9-car consist. My IC4 runs as a 9-car consist, which is not accurate, but I can't fit the full 12-car consist on here, so I leave it at 9. And then my ICE1 is a 7-car consist, and my ICE2 is an 8-car consist, just because I can't get, well, I could, but I haven't put the effort into getting any more cars to make them into the full 8-9 car rates that you would often see them in. But otherwise, that's why my Bremen side will be sort of a pseudo Bremen Hanover station, just to create that look. I'm actually converting the Baden station to look like the a cross between the Hanover and Bremen Bahnhof station. See, if I start talking about German things, I start using the German terms. Oh, well, that's cool, Clive. Yeah, I mean, when I decided to live stream for the first time, it was because some guys that I really loved watching their live streams had stopped, and all of a sudden there was a void, and I loved to chat. So I picked up, like, I don't remember how many cameras I had already. I probably had 3 or 4 cameras on my first live stream. Because when I saw Barnabas Junction doing 3 cams, I just thought that was a cool way to watch your own layout. Because you can put the cameras in angles you can't get physically, and shows you your layout or your trains in a way you can't see them just sitting watching. So I did that and then thought, well, I've got 3-4 cameras, I can live stream. And so I started live streaming. And, but live streaming changed my channel. All my other shows, my Model Train Outsider show came to an end. My Märklin Outsider show came to an end because I discovered in live streaming, this is what I finally evolved into what I wanted my channel to be without really knowing it's what I wanted my channel to be. So my channel became my love of trains and my love of comedy. and my desire to meet people. I wanted to meet people. Yeah, and that's a very true to the point. And if I had a small layout, I'd be the same way. I'd be pulling two. I'd have a Loco and 2 cars pulling. I'm just lucky, and that brings up a point I'd like to talk about. But I'll finish the point about live stream is I go back to the very first video with me in it that I posted, which was Model Train Outsider Episode 1 from 2018 when I started my show, The Model Train Outsider. And I created the Ghost of 2015 me and was using humor because that's how I try to relax myself and get in, is just be silly with myself and then I can relax. And but I said in that first episode my goal was to meet people. And it was doing live streams where I really felt like I was meeting people for real. Going to other people's live streams and talking to them made me think, oh my God, I can actually sit here and talk to people like Tom Couples, Tim J.D. Dowd, Andy, Dino, Jean Ricard. I can tease with them and joke with them, Andrew McDonald, and everybody that comes here. And in many cases, those friendships I have made on this channel have come into offline, where I've actually gone to the UK and met many of these people. Alan from Dragon Wiles calls me at least once a week. Jean Ricard and I will call, and he listens to me talk for 3 hours. Because he obviously doesn't get enough of my voice on my live stream for 3 hours, that he calls me so he can hear it more. Well, hi, Rick and Pauline. Great to have you here. Another fun video with your little grab bag sort of presentation there. Just a cool channel. If you guys don't know Rick and Pauline, and you should, because there's a lot more of them. I'll think about it, Jean Ricard. I'll think about it. Anyhow, and so it's meeting people and having people that I now consider friends, where we exchange text messages or write emails to each other. People a year ago at this time, maybe I didn't even know. I don't think I knew Dean from Model Railway, Dino here. And now he and Andy are 2 of my best friends off the internet. Jean Ricard, one of my best friends off the internet. I got to meet Andrew McDonald, March West Junction, in person, and what a difference it was after talking to these guys, and these people truly supporting me. And so that kind of goes on to a little something to talk about here. I almost feel like I want to turn the trains off so I could focus on that, but because otherwise I'm watching my trains. I just ramble and watch my trains and lose my train of thought. That was a cool shot up above of the 2 trains passing together. But I just hit a new high for subscribers. Earlier today, I hit 1,480. And I know my best friends on YouTube, a lot of my best friends on YouTube that I talk to the most off of YouTube, they don't have 500 or 600. They're, some of you have just started, you're starting to grow. Now, obviously, many of my friends have more, and some have, it's weird. Because when I started getting near 1,000, I cared. And then Alan at Dragon Junction did a big shout out, and I went from 970, where I'd been for 2 months, and shot over 1,000 in a weekend, and over 1,100 in a week. And I've always tried to pay that forward to go to other people. Like we just did that with Al at Layton Junction. Now, I don't have that kind of influence. I don't have enough people who follow me that I can make a big change. But Al is somebody I've now been watching for over a year at Layton Junction. He's a great guy. He's had some really terrible things. Lost a partner last year. Wasn't sure he was going to stick with YouTube. He did. He's got gorgeous trains, UK and Euro trains. He's got a great channel, a beautiful layout, absolutely exquisite layout, and he's got 900 and some odd subs. And I see a channel like his, and I go, everything he does is better than what I do. Why do I have 500 more subs than him? Well, he finally inched close to 1,000, and Mark here from Model Railway Fantasia asked me if I could put something out there and let's see if we could jump him over. Now again, I think by the time I said anything, he was only 8 away, but we did get him over 1,000, and that's great. That's a great milestone. But I think we get locked into our head about these milestones because I'm closing in on 1,500. And to me, it's a nice round number, and 2,000's an even rounder number. Hey, Sean, how are you? Great to have you here. But I say this, and people don't buy it. And they say, well, that's easy to say when you have that many subscribers. I have 1,500 subscribers, okay? Or close to 1,500. And yes, in my brain, I have started rooting for it. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. I would love to break 1,500 and get it over with. But I don't see myself. I still see myself as a tiny channel. I don't see myself as a tiny channel. Or I do see myself as a tiny channel. And I know that might seem insulting to the guy sitting watching me going, hey, I have 200 subs. Well, I had 200 subs myself at one time. And then things exploded. But I don't get 1,500 views on any of my videos unless I usually do something kind of off the wall. And then, you know, if I do a rant against the channel because they insulted the channel, boom, I got 7,000 views on it. So I hid that because, no, I don't like that. I don't like profiting from being negative. You know, my Märklin shows all got 1,000, 2,000, up to 8,000. But the truth is, my average video, all right, my average video gets 200 to 300 views. My live streams get about 300 views. But my average video I post is 150 to 200 views, all right? And that's all the accidental people who see my shit on their suggestion board and go, oh, I wonder what he did. Oh, who gives a... And the stuff that is most important to me, the stuff that to me is nearest and dearest on my channel, my parody songs of Matt Clarke, are lucky if they get 100 views. And more importantly, the likes. So if I got a video that has 200 views but only 15 likes, that meant 185 people didn't like it. If I watch a video, I give it a thumbs up. I do that for every video I watch. I give it a thumbs up. Every person here that ever posted a video, if I'm subscribed to you, since I subscribe to you, at least one of your likes is from me because I give everybody a thumbs up. Hey, Raymond A is here. How are you, Raymond? But to me, my subscribers are here right now on my chat list. This is what I have. The 20 to 30 people that are in here chatting. That's how many subscribers I have. Those are the people that mean something to me. That come and watch this or watch it on replay. I've got friends who email me and they say, I watched your whole live stream on replay. And that's great. But the people that watch, you know, that's how many subscribers I have. The 1,500 means nothing if only 50 people watch a video. What did the 1,450 other people do? They subscribe to you and never watch anything. So, are they really subscribers to you? So to me, my subscribers are the people that watch my videos. And let's face it, if you came to my channel and watched my introduction video to my channel, I try to talk you out of joining. Because whatever I offer to the model train community, it's not model train knowledge. It's not great building technique and design. It is just me and my silliness. And some people like that, and that's cool. And most people will either be friendly and subscribe and then never come back, or they just don't even bother subscribing. So that's what's important to me, is the people that I actually get to know, and the people like Hot Dog Pilot Andy here and Tom Couples, people that I talk to, Randall Ellison that I've been talking to for at least 3 years now, who's my go-to guy about American trains. EFO, who is not here today, but it is a holiday, so I didn't know how many people we'd get today because it being a holiday weekend. So I figured I'd have a small turnout today. I even had people asking me if I was going to stream, and I'm like, yeah. Sorry, guys, if you haven't heard me say it 1,000 times on my streams, I'm not really religious, so I don't take holidays off. So yeah, I mean, and that's why I encourage everybody here to post a link to your channel, one of your coolest videos, and get subs. If you can. The thing is, we are a close community here, and I think everybody in my live stream is subscribed to everybody else on my live stream. But it's a great group of people. You people have made Joyce and me, we look forward to Friday. We look forward to Friday. I got asked in somebody's live stream yesterday, was it? I think it was. I was watching one of the Canadian live streams, and a friend of the channel said, are you still doing your live stream tomorrow? I said, yeah. And I just flippantly said, I haven't missed one in the 3 years I've been doing my live streams. I've abbreviated them at times, deleted a couple because things came up in them that maybe weren't the best. But or music videos that got copyright claims on them. But yeah, I haven't missed one because I look forward to this. I look forward to seeing the names and having everybody here. Hey Ray, how are you? And Race Fan is now here in the chat. Great to have you guys here. But yeah, I do me, and the thing is, this channel has become more, although I put up a lot of model train content lately because I've been able to buy some more model trains, but anybody who's followed this channel knows my layout hasn't changed in 2 years. I don't really work on it. I keep talking about doing things, and then something comes up which puts stuff back. But I love doing, let's change cameras. You guys have been stuck on this one for a while. There's that little P8 going. My little. Speaking of which, there is Layton Junction. There's no such thing as being late. Yeah, Simon, and you've had your reasons. And that's one of the things that's always so important to me is, you know, you don't know what people are going through on the other side of the screen. And my goal has always been to make this a friendly place where everybody can come in and not feel like somebody's going to jump on them. Now, over the years, we've had a couple of people that decide to come in and make trouble or make trouble off. And how do you deal with that? Well, usually we just ignore it, but sometimes you finally get fed up and fire back. But, you know, Joyce and I are not hypocrites. But having said that, you know, when I'm sitting here and I show off my new train set, a new locomotive, new cars, anybody here can go Google and figure out what I paid for them. Although usually I pay a lot less than the manufacturer's suggested retail price, or the RRP as you call it in the UK, MSRP in the United States. because of where I buy them from, have them discounted pretty good, even brand new. But I know there's that man or woman on the other side of the screen going, I can't spend that much for a train in a year. And I don't want to seem that I'm showing off like, hey, look how rich I am. Because we aren't rich. Now, to a starving man, a homeless man, then we are rich. But what you're seeing is half my house. That's why we bought this place. It was a big basement. It has a small yard. It's a small house, small yard, but it had this large basement, and we bought it because it had 2 bathrooms, which for 2 parents and 3 kids, you need 2 bathrooms. And it had this big, even though it had a small yard, it had this big room down here for my kids to play when they were little. This was a big playroom for my kids. And then when they moved out, I was able to take it over for my hobbies and eventually trains. Yeah, and by the way, Hi here, since he just mentioned it, he's trying to compile a list. Now, Hi, one thing is, if you have a way of contacting John at Schuylkill River or even Ray Bobel here, they had a list that they used to put on Sidetrack Sunday of multiple shows. Even Vinny at BNSF 6951, on his channel, he has a list, and maybe they can just throw it over to you. They had mostly American channels, but also UK, and I'm always happy when I get included on anybody's list. But, you know, I always point out, you know, I'm lucky to be in the situation I am in now. 10 years ago, I couldn't be doing this. You just put the stream on the big screen. Yeah, my streams look great on a big screen TV too. But if you're using one of those little phones with the small screen, yeah, it's not fun to see. But yeah, my UK, I'm rotating my Beatles theme. Last week it was the Yellow Submarine Eurostar with the Beatles albums. Today it's the Beatles albums on one train. All those freight cars have Beatle albums on them. And then this little train in front has the Beatles singles, all their singles from not Please Me, that was their second. Love Me Do, their first single, to Let It Be, their last official single. Now, obviously, since they've broken up, other songs have been released as singles and re-released. But I think this also has Free as a Bird from '94 when they did those John Lennon songs, and the other 3 surviving Beatles came in and added their stuff to it to make it the Beatles. Hey, there's Eric. How are you? But I mean, the people that stay with this channel, the comments they leave after the live streams, because, you know, you're here for the live stream. The thank yous we get, the support we get, the emails, the positive emails, which 100 to 1 against negative emails. And most of the negative emails are just bitter people over stuff. Or they're upset that something we did, like especially one of my songs. Really, the most common negative email I get is somebody criticizing my singing. Because one of my parody songs where I sing came up on their playlist, and I can't tell you how many emails I get where, who told you could sing? You're awful. And I was like, did you read in the comment or, you know, in the description section of the video that says my singing is awful? I'm fully aware of how bad my singing is. And if I could get somebody with a voice to sing for me when Joyce doesn't want to sing the song, step in. I will send you, like we did with Greg, who, speaking of which, my friend Greg, Midsummer Rail N Scale down in Australia, has been having, he had intestinal cancer, chemo and surgery, and he's been having, he was coming back here, but he's kind of laid up because he's been having reactions to his post-surgery medicines. So everybody that knows Greg, and if you don't know Greg, keep a warm thought out for him there. Did the live stream freeze? If it did, I haven't seen it freeze yet. I will see what's going on. But on my replay, it's looking good. And everything says I'm going, no drop frames. Heck, my computer's working at 4.5%. Can you believe that? I'm running 15 cameras. Well, let's see. This is 12, 13. I'm running 13 cameras right now. And my CPU is at 6% now because I went to the multi-screen here. I'm running 6%. My CPU is at 6%. On my old computer, I couldn't have done this many. And when I was up to 8 or 9 before I went to the supercomputer, it was doing 75 to 80%, 70 to 80%. Oh, I do. Well, I'm such a huge Beatles fan anyhow. Huge Beatles geek, Beatle maniac. And I do love the friendly barbs because Rick and Pauline, Rick is a huge Rolling Stones fan, so we like to banter and do stuff like that back and forth because as a Beatles fan, I still like the Rolling Stones. And as a Rolling Stones fan, he still likes the Beatles, but the Stones are better to him. Which, you know, I get that. As a Beatles fan or any music fan, I'm just never into that. You have to like this band. The only thing I ever ask is whether you like the Beatles or not. When people say the Beatles are overrated, that stuff drives me crazy because you can't be overrated when you're the #1 selling group in the world, had the most #1 record, singles, and albums for a group in the world, and are credited with single-handedly changing them, being the most important change in the modern rock scene ever, even over Elvis, who was, of course, the first atomic bomb in rock and roll music, at least. But the Beatles transcended all that. You know, you got to respect the influence, even if you don't like the music. You got to respect the influence, the importance. You don't have to like anything, but you have to respect the influence. But that's my Beatles high horse, my Beatles rant. But yeah, so, you know, this is live streaming for me has become my channel, and it evolved into my comedy outlet, which again, like Matt Clarke, I posted another video last week before I started the Matt Clarke series where I talk about it's so important to me, which is why I know it's not going to get a lot of views, and it crushes me because that is every aspect of my personality in there. And Jean Ricard likes to psychoanalyze me. Which of these characters is you? It's like none of them are me. They are my views of things out there. But it is special to me because it's the first time in my life my creative writing side, my comedic side came together and created something I think is really cool. I think Matt Clarke, for my limitations on the computer, yes, it would work better animated or live, or if somebody were a better person at putting together the animation. But in the end, it's still the effort to put the jokes and the silliness and in it is just it's definitely something I'm proud of it. I'm pleased with it. I laugh. And comedians will always tell you, if you're laughing too hard at your own jokes, that's a danger. But I can't help it. I think it's funny. When I tell them to Joyce, I get two reactions. Either she breaks out laughing, or she gives me the, "Oh, Anthony, really?" Which is also a reaction I want for that joke at that time. And on top of that, when Joyce and I come down to do voices or the parody songs, it's such a bonding moment with us all the time because we just are in hysterics. It was so much fun doing the song. Well, I already mentioned it. We did a 9 Inch Nails song in episode 3 of Matt Clarke. And it was so much fun to do it. And it happens to be one of Joyce's favorite hardcore songs. I will give that secret away. Hey, Langton Road, how are you? There's Efo. Hey, Efo, how are you? I appreciate you coming. When people don't show up, I figure life, business, family, dinner. I mean, I'm Friday evening to you in the UK and Europe, and I'm early Friday afternoon to the United States. So there's never a chance. I just kind of split the gap and have the worst time to be on, but maybe it's the best time because nobody else goes on. Unless somebody decides just to do a random live. And I think I've called Langton Road. There was Leighton Road. That's Al. And Langton Road is Mark. And I think a couple of times I have called him Al because my brain hears Langton Road and thinks Leighton Road. Mark is Langton Road. Al is Leighton Road. And Al's the one we just got over. He got himself over 1,000. We got a lot of marks. And and Artie's show. And of course, Artie's doing the 24-hour Easter show. And it's great that people that are in the train community and maybe don't have the families. I will have my 3 children, my son-in-law, my future daughter-in-law, my grandson, Joyce and me will all be here. It'll be a relatively small considering that we used to host Easter for Joyce's family, and that would be, I think the most we had in this basement was 34, 35 at one time, where we had everybody down here eating. That was packed. But yeah, we had holidays where we were hosting 30-some people, and we had the smallest house in her family. But we had the big basement, which open space, which nobody else had that big a space. So even though we were the smallest house, we crammed Joyce's entire family, her parents, her 5 brothers and sisters, their spouses, all their kids. That added up to 30-some people here. Yeah, Joyce, if Joyce were not sick right now, she'd be sick with her hay fever and the pollen. But anyhow, Artie is doing a 24-hour. He's going to start 8 o'clock p.m. my time, which is 1 a.m. UK time, 2 a.m. Western Europe time, Sunday morning for you guys, but Saturday night for us. It's Sunday afternoon for him. But he's going to do that, and anybody that's like, hey, you got nothing happening, you can go to Artie from Aus America's live stream and hang out. He's going to do 24 hours straight. I'm going to hang out with him for a while, then probably go to sleep for a bit, then try to get up early and come back and hang out until my family gets here. Because as we all understand, family comes first. Unless you don't like your family. Ah, Mick, I see you've got, EFO, you've got that plan. Drink beer in the office, move the party to a cafe, drink more, and the hardcore crew gets totally wasted after that. You had the unofficial company dinner today. Yeah, and at the risk of being melancholy, since I literally have lost in the last, 2 years specifically, but over the last 5 years, I have lost my entire circle of male friends. They're all dead. I do not have any guy that I would go to a pub with, have a drink, go to the movies with, call up and play poker with, go play ball with. They're all literally all dead. They've all died. My only male friends are whoever I consider a friend on YouTube right now. And my 2 female friends are Joyce and my late friend Dean's wife, Debbie. Oh, I shouldn't call her Debbie. She'd get pissed. She hates Debbie. Deb. That's it. My circle of friends is down to 2 right now, other than the people I talk to on YouTube. And I do not associate with my family, which is a very dark story. So I haven't seen my mother in 20 years, and haven't seen my sibling. I haven't seen my mother or my siblings in 20 years. Haven't talked to them in 20 years. So there, anybody wants to see a dark side of me and thinks I'm Mr. Nice Guy, there, now you got a little ugly secret. And with Joyce's family, we get together now and then, but we don't hang out, you know. Joyce has 2 sisters that are like best friends as well as sisters, and they get together all the time. But then the other sisters are just kind of, you know, whenever the family gets together. One lives in Virginia, which makes it harder. Well, that's the only thing. I love Joyce's family. They were so good to me when I started dating Joyce. They were so nice and open to me, except her oldest brother who passed away back in October. He didn't like me. But probably because he was the oldest boy and this was some dude coming in messing with his sister. Was trying to be the big scary brother. The problem is he didn't scare me. I scared him. But be that as it may, Joyce's family was great. Her mom and dad, in the years I knew them, before they both passed, they were more like parents to me than my own parents ever were. And they were supportive, helpful, and I loved her parents. Her parents were awesome people, which is why Joyce is an awesome person. Yeah, so my family is Joyce, my kids and my grandkid, my kids and their loved ones, and my grandkids. That's my family, and I'm lucky I have that. I've got 3 awesome kids. I've got a gorgeous grandson. I've got a great son-in-law, and I've got a great future daughter-in-law. And I'm proud of all 3 of my kids, and I can't say enough good things about them. All right, Eric, take care. And yeah, so for me right now, the people I talk to on YouTube, and a couple of you will notice I've been emailing you more, and that's just because now that I'm done with writing Matt Clarke, I actually have a little bit more free time because I can't produce Matt Clarke right now until Joyce gets her voice back. I'm talking to people because normally I'd be on the phone or on the computer talking to my other friends, and it's like, it did hit me a couple of weeks ago as I finished writing Matt Clarke. I really wanted to talk. I'm like, I got to share this with John and Dean. And it's like, oh crap, John and Dean are dead. And that depressed me so bad because how do you forget? You know, it's just, it was such a part of your life for 30 years, over 30 years. These people were your run-to people. You would go on the computer, you would text, you would call, oh man, I got to talk to you. And I just had that thought like, oh my God, John will think this is hilarious. And then I'm like, oh crap, John died 5 months ago. So all of a sudden I'm starting to talk to other people because after going to the UK and meeting Tim JD in person, and just what a great guy he was. And it's like, yeah, this guy I thought of as a YouTube friend, now he is a true friend. Alan Wiles at Dragon Junction, Andrew McDonald, Jim at Hover Motion. I've had a bro crush on Jim for years, and to finally meet him, we talk, we keep little bits of tabs with family, like how are your kids doing, how you're doing. Mostly it's just, how you doing, how's the family, real quick, but we talk. I should call him more often, but I don't. I don't call anybody, that's the problem. Alan calls me, Jean Ricard calls me, but I'm scared to call. I'm scared to call people and get told, I'm busy, I'll have to go. It's like, oh, the whole reason I called is I need to talk now, But Alan says, just call me. And I'm like, but he calls me. So I need to be nice and return the favor. All right, Ray, are you still bowling? Season is coming close to an end, isn't it? If it isn't already. Al's ears are burning. Because I'm really bad about that. I actually have a phone phobia, I think. I'm not scared to talk on the phone if it's somebody I know, but I'm scared to call. For years, I've made Joyce call the pizza. Every now and then she has me do it, and I'm like, can I do it online instead? But, it's... So, the old adage of social media, how do you know them? They're just somebody you met on social media. If we had a bad vibe about Alan or Jim or anybody else, we wouldn't have been watching their channel, and we wouldn't have gone to meet them. Although in Alan's case, I think and Jim's case, I invited myself over. In both their cases, I think I was the one who said, hey, can I come to your house and interrupt your private life so I can stare at your layout? But now that we are, and guys, I don't want to say 100%, but it is pretty certain I am coming to Getz. It's fairly certain I will be there. I haven't bought the plane because I am waiting for Joyce to decide if she's going to say what the hell and come along or not. She's already looked up her 2 big excuses for not going and said, I think we'll have conferences at that time. Nope, no conferences at that time. Okay. The whole family was doing this big get-together at this. Nope, it's 2 weeks later. You're good. So she is really, I think she's leaning toward it rather than away from it. But I don't want to push her too hard. I want her to go, and I'm going to keep saying, come on, just do it. But right now you could really plan on me being at Getz in October. Yes, you did, and I told you you can come and swing by. In fact, you came over that one day, and you're still talking about coming over with your steam trains and doing a running session. But now, by the way, some of my guys, I don't know if Christopher's still here or not. Simon, if you're still here, if you guys watched episode 2 of Matt Clarke series 3, first of all, Randall Ellison, the Thayer Bandit, convenient, he's the Thayer Bandit because he's playing a bandit. My Fredo Bagino, the pun on Frodo Baggins. Fredo Bagino, that's Randall Ellison. That's his face doctored up and thrown on the body. And then the assassin is Dave Williams, the Welsh chef who his channels had so many names, although he just shut down his Facebook account, so I can't stay in touch with him. The last thing I know is he gave me the approval to use his picture, because he said, yeah, put me in. And so I created the character and sent him the backdown story, and he said, yeah, okay. But then he got caught up in the Welsh chefs contest, and he finished 2nd or 3rd. But top chefs of Wales, not top chefs of West. Top chefs of Wales. But Dave Williams, the TVR Volley, but he plays the assassin. Artie from Aus America will be showing up in the stream, and at least one other person. Yeah, Tom, as long as if it's a Friday afternoon and you don't mind me live streaming, or you come earlier before I start my live stream, although that would make it a challenge to get my trains out in time. But you're going to Germany in May, I believe. You're going to Germany in May, and or Germany, and I'm leaving in May 30th, May 31st. Joyce and I are leaving for Germany, and we'll be gone all of June. Yeah, really. Get Mark at LinkedIn Roads. Everybody here, can somebody post a link to LinkedIn Road? Did he already do it? Because I may have missed that. I'm trying to watch the chat. And then, yeah, and Kiwi Dave, as you know, a year from now, Joyce and I are on our way to New Zealand and Australia. We're going to spend about a week in New Zealand and then a week and a half in Australia. Now, Artie has offered us a place to stay there, but Joyce really kind of wants her own place. So we'll have to find an Airbnb or something in Wollongong. Artie told us we could stay at his place. I'm trying to talk Joyce into it, but Joyce kind of likes the idea of having our own place. So, happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house. Okay, so that's the thing when you've got all these knights at the rhomboid table. You ask for a mission and 20 of them are out the door on it. Oh, your entire trip? Well, I knew you said something got bypassed, but now nothing? You're not going at all? I'm sorry. Hey, Kieran, you were here and I missed you and now you're leaving? God, I'm sorry, Kieran. Speaking of old friends and people I don't talk to enough anymore, Kieran, I say that every show and then I don't, because I only see him on a couple of live streams. Will I try Vegemite? Yes. Will I try a kangaroo steak? Probably. But I'm a very picky eater. I don't like vegetables and I don't like fruit. I like pure meat, so I don't even like lots of seasoning in the meat. I don't even like barbecue. I like just grilled steak and grilled burgers. I'm a horrible, boring person, but I love the taste of the meat and a little bit of pepper. I don't like all the super seasonings. I've driven Joyce crazy for years because she wants to do more with her steaks, and I want them just nice and plain. But yeah, I got distracted. But for a while, I was going to all these channels that I subscribed to and noticing they only had 50 or 60, 80, 100 subscribers. And I started posting links. You didn't bring your signboard. Do I need to move the mic over today? All right, here, at least. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Joyce is here, but she literally has no voice. She has laryngitis. She has no voice. I don't even have to move my mic today. She will type. If you want to talk to Joyce, give her an at Joyce Dodge, and talk to her, but she literally cannot talk. It's been the most blessed 2 days I've had ever. No, the problem is because we both like to talk, and she can't talk, and it's driving her crazy. Yes, Ifo, the Nuremberg Express is a full 6-car consist today. I got the other 2 cars this week. I hit the mute button on her. She got her dry erase board, and she's been talking to me that way. But the worst thing is, half of what she's saying on the dry erase board is what we've already said. Yeah, that's good. We're set there. Why are they calling me? Angie Advisor. See, that's what happens. You go on those damn things on and say, there's Jim, speaking of my bromance, my bro crush, who just did his amazing, well, now your newest amazing thing is your new lighting system in that loft. Why didn't you do that before I came over, you selfish? I had to go up there and sit in the dark. Jim just put in this amazing LED lighting system. That's right, you saw that. Yeah. Got the little P8 going. He is running so quiet and smooth, it's ridiculous. I am so proud of that one. That's the only thing is his lights do flicker. But that little guy he's worth his money. He runs better than a couple of locomotives that I paid double his price for. Hey, Richard Brown is here. How are you? Oh, hang on. Joyce, your grandson. Wait, do I have... Yeah, there you go. Your grandson needs you to say hi. Oma loves you, Kyan. Oma loves you. Oma just can't talk right now. Oh, Oma. Yeah, in fact, the only time you hear Joyce is when she coughs. She'd be a great ninja, except she'd give herself away. Yeah, see, that's the new station view camera in 4K. That looks so much clearer and brighter than what was there. The only thing I want to do is after this live stream, I'm going to kick it up to 60 frames per second, in which case it'll really be sharp. It does struggle a little bit with focusing because I didn't adjust it when I plugged it in. Yeah. Joel? Which one can I go to here? Yeah, we'll go to this one for me. Joel, 3 of my 4 grandparents were born in Germany, so I learned German as a kid. And then my dad's older brother was a bomber pilot during World War II and stationed in Germany after the war. He even did the Berlin airlift. And he married a girl who was from Dresden, but had moved to Berlin to escape the Russians. So I had all kinds of German relatives around. So she was Tante Frida or Aunt Frida. I had Oma Dodge. And so it was, and then all my kids learned German growing up. Although most of them, all 3 of my kids would say they've forgotten most of it now. But, you know, it would come back if they ever had to use it. So it was decided even before my family had kids, you know, Mom, Dad, do you want to be Grandma and Grandpa or do you want to be Oma and Opa? And we both said Oma and Opa. We like it. So my grandson, Kyan, I'm Opa, and this is Omama. Or Omamoma. And I'm Opa Bopa. Well, officially, in proper German, it's Dresden. The S is soft. Dresden. But in English, we make that S in front of a D, a Z sound, and say Dresden, but it's Dresden. And so I will go back and forth. I will say Dresden a lot when I'm in normal speech, but the minute I'm talking German or with Germans or about something German language related, I'll slip into it. Just like I'll often say Delmenhorst, but then when I'm talking to Germans, I'll go Delmenhorst. Delmenhorst, Delmenhorst. Bremen, Bremen. We were in Bremen. I love Bremen. Bremen's a beautiful town. Hamburg. I say Hamburg. But my kids are funny because my kids will never say them in English. Like my daughter, it's Berlin, it's Potsdam. She'll talk about, oh, I've been in Berlin many times. I go, Berlin? Where's that? And she'll say, in Germany, the capital of Germany. And they'll go, you mean Berlin? And she'll very much go, no, it's Berlin. That's how the locals say it. Which I always think is funny because if you say Edinburgh, if you're an American and you say Edinburgh, everybody in the UK is like, it's Edinburgh, you bastard! It's Edinburgh! But then they'll turn around and say Paris and not Paris. They'll say Berlin and not Berlin. Come on, guys. Hypocrite much. And I live in Toledo, not Toledo. No, only Bavarians and Austrians roll the R, Raymond. Only Bavarians and Austrians, Southern Germans. In regular German, the R is a palatalized, it's almost an Elmer Fudd R. Like the German verb for smoking. A great way to hear one of the accent differences is in Central and Northern Germany, the verb to smoke is R-A-U-C-H-E-N, which is pronounced, as an American, you'd read that and go, rauchen, rauchen. But in proper German, it's rauchen, rauchen, rauchen. That R is very soft. It's what we call a soft palate R, rauchen. And then in Bavarian, it's rauchen. Ich rauche nicht. They really roll that R. Oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm in my element. Well, I have to carry for two of us now. Normally Joyce could step in and talk for a bit, but she can't talk. And she can't sign language. Tie her up and she's helpless. Well, more so than normal. Got the little Beatle theme on the floor. Let's go back to... Oh, that's the other corner. That's that corner. Nobody's there right now. And there's that one. Jean Ricard wants me to move these parked trains out and around the curve a bit so they can actually see the trains too. Be ready to hit the emergency stop as needed. Take over, honey. You got the mic. But see, I like these kind of parked back here because it looks like they're stopped at the station, even though it's a parking area. But there, I'll do that for John McCarthy. That's really the only two lanes that are parked right now. The other one's so maxed out anyhow, it doesn't matter. We try to please our customers. Absolutely, Kiwi Dave. We'd love to have you. In fact, I'm still teasing you because when we first talked about going to Australia a year or maybe even longer ago, you said, you can come stay with us. We're planning on it. We've already Googled your house on Google Maps and zoomed in. We've seen what you've been doing. Yeah, and Joel, the best thing about going to, for example, Joyce and I will be in Germany the entire month of June, and other than 3 days in Hamburg, we're in half in Bavaria and half in Baden-Württemberg. We're in Freiburg for a week, We're in Freiburg for a week. Then we go to Stuttgart for a couple of days, where we're going to go to the Märklin thing. And then we're actually staying, we were going to stay in Prien am Chiemsee, but we changed it to Salzburg. We're staying in Salzburg, Austria, but, you know, that's still Bavaria. But we're going to do a lot of things, including we're going to go, we want to go to Traumwerk, Hans-Peter Porsche's Traumwerk. We're not going to get to we're not spending any time in Munich except for the half an hour between trains. And we got to hope we can get to Richards. We want to get some Richards cakes while we're there. Oh, I would notice it. I see the chat, especially when my name comes up. Yeah, it's Bear. It's Berlin. Yeah, because the letter E in German is an A sound, but when you stick in front of an R, it sounds like A umlauts, which is how it was. Because bear, the German word for bear is bear with that A with umlauts followed by the R. The R shortens the vowel sound. Bear. Guck mal, ein Bar. Joyce and I spent 5 days in Mittenwald a couple of years ago, and then we were in Kempten for a week in 2019. And when we were in Mittenwald, I always speak German down there. And the nice thing is the Bavarians always ask me what part of Germany I'm from, and not, are you American? They always ask me what part of Germany I'm from, and then I say I'm an American. They're like, damn, you speak good German. And I say, well, that's because you speak Bavarian and don't recognize good German. A lot of the locals, when we would go into, you know, because we don't go to the tourist areas, even when we're in a tourist town like Mittenwald, we don't go to the tourist areas. We try to find the little kneipas, the imbis, the restaurants that the locals go to that the tourists aren't raiding, and go into the little shops and the museums, and we meet people like the guy at the violin museum. Mm-hmm. You know, he met us, heard us speaking German, and so he started speaking German to us. And then when I said I'm American, he went into thick Alpine Bavarian German. Oh, Dankeschön. Dankeschön. And he was like, I bet you didn't understand that. And I said, actually, I translate about 90% of what he said, because one of my relatives was Bavarian, so I can understand some of the Bavarian dialect. I have never made it. If you're talking the Deutsches Museum in Munich, I've never gotten in there. All the times I've been to Munich, I never had time to get to the Deutsches Museum, because every time except 2017 and 2019, when we were in Munich, we were only in there for a day, and we had scheduled tours and places we were going to see, and we just could not get to the Deutsches Museum. Because we always stayed in Garmisch. When we were down in the Alps with my students, we stayed in the mountains and would go up the Zugspitze. So Munich was never a visit of itself. It was always one of the days we're in Garmisch, we're going to go up to Munich and spend the day there. So I never made it there. Now, Joyce and I did go to the museum in Nuremberg, the Deutsche Bahn Museum in Nuremberg, which was interesting and kind of meh at the same time. All right, which John is taking off? John Benicki. All right, well, you take care. Have fun. I would love to go to the Deutsches Museum, and maybe the next time we go to Germany after this trip, because we don't even have a day. Normally, we try to go whenever we're in Germany, we try to get a day in Munich. Like in 2019? Yeah, it was 2019 where we went to Munich just to train shop. We went to all the different little train shops in 2019. 2017? Because we went to the one that was off the platform 11 or whatever, Gleis 11. the little shop there, Gleis 11, because we went to Nymphenburg Palace, we went to Munich to go to Nymphenburg Palace because we had never seen it. So we went to Nymphenburg Palace, and then, but we took time to try to hit some of the, like there was a Märklin shop in a mall, and a Märklin train shop at the train station, and then out on platform 11 is a shop called Gleis 11. I think it's Gleis 11, or is it Gleis 7? It's Gleis 11? Yeah, okay. Really nice shop. Kind of small compared to other things I saw, but really nice, good people. Not a lot of Märklin in it. Yeah, and EFO, I'd agree. It would be almost like the Smithsonian Institution. You can't do it in a day. You would have to go, if you wanted to go to the Deutsches Museum, you'd have to dedicate almost 2 days just to do the Deutsches Museum. And yes, I would probably put that on a bucket list just once, to go there and try to spend at least a day. Joyce does not yell at me. I just occasionally get the cross-eyed look and a finger wag. Let's go to the multi-view for a bit. And now see, if anybody knows Joyce has a baseball bat, especially in case we get invaded by intergalactic time-traveling chimpanzees. That was so funny. So few people saw that bit, and that was hilarious. That was one of the funniest things you've done. I actually cut it out and posted it in one of the live streams ads a few months ago. But yeah, when I was creating the character Dr. Zaius, I came up with this skit where, so Joyce, it's like, I'll just come down with the baseball bat. She didn't like the stinky diesel. She didn't like the old cars, because I think the ones we were in were old Zilberlingas repainted. That they had gone from Zilberlingas to Deutsche Bahn, and then Deutsche Bahn decided they were such old and crappy cars and sold them off, and Alex bought them. I can't swear to that, but boy, they sure felt like the old Nverkehr. But yeah, she did not like Alex. But they were, I remember riding similar cars my first trip to Germany in the very early 2000s. And they were already kind of crappy shape for Deutsche Bahn Regio. And then within a couple of years, we didn't see those cars anymore. Like, we were taking those to Goslar. Yeah, whenever we went to Goslar in 2003, 2004, and I think even 2005, we rode what were the oldest, most low-budget Regio coaches. And then all of a sudden they disappeared, and we were riding the double-deckers. And then, what was it? Eric's. That company, Eric's, took over. Nobody's ever made it. There's 2 trains or consists that I've ridden on many, many times, and nobody's ever made models of them. What is it? The Mittelrheinbahn, the MRB, Mittelrheinbahn. We rode those a lot, those little white, I think in a lot of cases they were Link Class 648s. We rode those a lot. And then the Eric's, whatever Eric's consisted of, from Hanover to Goslar. We rode those every year. And nobody's ever made an Eric train. Yeah, and like I said, I'm going to be there. So let's do this real quick. As of this moment, I will be there. The only thing that would stop me from being there is something in life happening. Major illness, major disaster. Knock on wood, I don't want it to happen. But I am planning on being there. I will be more specific. Well, hang on. Let's do this. You're going to go with me to the UK, aren't you? You're going to go with me and go to Getz and meet all our UK friends again, right? If you're not going to go, I just want to hear an audible no. I just want to hear an audible no. Nope. I got to hear a no. I want to hear a no. If you're going to go, smile or cough. Is that a smile? Looks like a smile. That's a wicked smile. Save that for later. But no pressure, honey. Get the camera off me right now, damn it. Oh, Joyce can't talk. I can do my mocking voice, which actually became Smokey, right? Get the camera off me. Leave me alone. It's all a bunch of horse poop. It's a 5-hour drive for you. Well, yikes. God. That sounds horrible. Hey, Brian Rock Rail fan. How are you, sir? Nice to have you here. Yeah, we already broke 40 likes, so that's a good thing. So, am I fetching dinner? Are you and I fetching dinner? What about Grumpy McRumblepuss? Is she going to be a part of this? I see. Clyde. You had to read Clyde's comment. Newland Railway. I agree. She needs to go just to protect the bank account. See, you saw the nod. You saw the nod. She needs to go to keep me out of trouble. I'm more easily swayed. Why, Anthony, you want all these A4s over here, don't you? No, I should say no. Oh, come on, Anthony, Joyce isn't here. She won't hate you. You need Joyce there to go, no. What does she have to go through in the beginning of June? There's Jean, the kiss-up, trying to play your number one buddy. The only thing she has to go through in the beginning of June is meeting you. With you standing up. And remember, she's not going to ride the escalator, so you got to be at the top of the stairs, and then she'll see you. It doesn't matter how many flights of stairs. I might even ride the escalator. But a lot of times she'll be like, come on, honey, run the stairs with me. And then she'll race me while I'm on the escalator. With her bad knees and all. Just to prove a point. Flying frying pans and kicks to the low-lying areas. Joyce can't kick that fast. Hey, there's a cough. I believe that was agreement. She's in. It was a delayed reaction, but it is YouTube, so things do get delayed. Hey, the Alex coaches are the old and fair care. Yay! See, the problem is there are so many things I'm trying to talk Joyce into right now, including to help get my numbers up. And she just won't do any of them. Come on, it's working for all those other channels. Doesn't work. Nope, it doesn't work. I can't get a good acronym out of it. You could be a MILM. You could be a MILM TM. You could be a MILM TM. Mother I'd like to model trains with. Oh, that's a MILM TW. You're a MILM. A mother I'd like to model trains with. MILMT. A MILMTWA. I didn't get her to do that. Who did come up with that? Was that you first or me? It was me. Because you first suggested a monkey song, and then we both decided no. And then you wanted to do Radioactive from Imagine Dragons. And I said, yeah, it was me. Because then I said, no, what about Closer by Nine Inch Nails? And then you laughed hysterically, and I said, decision made. And then after we did it, you were worried. And nobody commented on it. Heck, they didn't even tell you. Now, the thing is, you have to understand, Joyce didn't even like the model train group I was in for many reasons. But one of the things that was bad is Joyce sees herself as one of the guys. Joyce doesn't want to go and sit with the women and discuss knitting, but she wants to be with the guys talking sports and all that other jazz. And the men at our club would tell, oh, the wives sit over there. And they'd all be talking about their shopping and this and that. And Joyce was like, this is the boringest shit. She'd rather be talking riding trains and that over. But this is a sad moment. This is a sad moment. But more than ever, when that video came out on Wednesday, is where I miss Chris Whittingham. I missed him because he would have typed it, and then he would have come into the live stream today and said it, that voice of an angel. Because Joyce was worried that people were going to be upset that we chose that song, but then nobody even mentioned it. Like, I think one person said, nice singing, Joyce, and everybody else was just sort of just ignored it. And she was so worried that that song would. And I was like, no, nobody's going to care. All right, good night, Kiwi Dave. Thanks for popping in. Well, and again, I'm not here to denigrate any channel. You know, we're not going to denigrate. Hey, BNC Systems, welcome in, welcome in. Let's make you a Knight of the Rhomboid Table, so you can advertise your channel. I know to call you a Knight of the Rhomboid Table. And yes, we are the Rhomboid Table, not the Round Table. We're not cool enough. We're so odd we can't even form the Knights of the Square Table. We're the Knights of the Rhomboid Table. We're just a little off. So welcome in. My mostly German Central European layout with a couple of British trains on the floor. This is my wife Joyce, who joins me at times. Did you, Roger? Okay, I didn't see that one. Oh, because it's on community. I'm not getting notifications on a lot of community posts. Hey, George. Yeah, George, well, I already told you what I thought. I do like the idea, and if I can hopefully find one for cheap, I might buy a second one just so I can line the cars up. But I won't run it as a dual consist with a dummy 73. I just have the 4 cars going. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Randall, there were so many different ways to take it, but from the minute I conceived that scene, Sam Gold was going to be killed quickly. There was a debate as to whether he might make an appearance instead of early in the show, later in the show, in this series, and I decided to get it over with and do it there. Yeah, and BNC, we're here to advertise. That's why you're knighted. You are allowed to advertise your channel, post a link to your channel, recruit as many people as you can. Well, you may all be cool. I don't think of myself as cool. I think of myself as a big nerd, bit of a loser, but I have good company. But yeah, I was. Joyce has already been introduced to the one channel we were mentioning earlier. And in honor of that, Joyce is also wearing a sweater, but it's. Three sizes too small. No, but we had to come up with a storyline that explained Sam. You know, I was trying to come up with a name that sounded like Smegel. I mean, I could have named him Gale, but because there are guys named Gale, a couple of famous actors were named Gale, but it just wasn't working. So I went with, you know, taking Sam Gull, sounding a little bit like Smegel, made it close. Yeah, you've got several more parts coming up. I'm not going to tell you any more because I want you to be a surprise, but even Joyce doesn't know everything that's happening in the story. She knows the key parts, but because she's been so busy and a couple times she's been sick, that when I'm writing, usually I write, read it to her, and get her feedback. But at least half the scenes, I don't think I've read more than a couple of jokes out of it to you. So yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I understand that. But the problem is it's not so much a mind reader as a psychologist. And, well, we don't want to go into that right now, Jean Ricard. If nothing else, I like to think of my channel as the most eclectic channel on model trains. And that's probably not true. Been a Genesis fan for. There's always masochism, Andy says. Yeah, there's that too. Hey, Rick's O-Gauge is here. Howdy, Rick. Changed his name a bit again. He went from Rick's Railroad to Rick's O-Gauge Railroad to make sure people knew he was about the big O. Rick's, just go all the way, Rick. Rick's Big O-Gauge Railroad. The Big O. You know about doing the @ right? Okay. Yeah, Rick, if you haven't been listening in the background, Joyce actually has laryngitis and cannot talk. She has been unable to speak to me for 2.5 days. Or anybody. And that's why this face looks a little blue today. She's had to text. But, Yeah, Randall, but there's also something else that, well, never mind, because you don't want us to take you there. No, I am HO scale. No, I'm Ho scale. Which camera now? Regio. Oh wait, no, let's go this one. Yeah, so here comes that Munich-Nuremberg Express. And there goes the Czech EC. I'm still amazed how Andrew Chevalier got that Loco. Oh my God, it is so amazing. I've had so many great Locos come in lately. I keep forgetting how awesome that 371 is. That he did that all for us. Whoops. Right there, going downhill. That 371 right up there. No, this is from a German company called Märklin. It is their track system called C-Track. In all honesty, I don't know. I would think that Märklin's version of it came out first, although it was called M-Track when it was made metal, and then it became C-Track when they went plastic. But, and I don't know who created the first interconnecting bit, but Kato's is definitely later. Yeah, it's the Märklin C-Track system. It's 3-rail. This is 3-rail, but they do a nice job of kind of hiding the third rail. Do I have any of the track here handy? I usually have a couple of pieces. But there it is. One of the long turnouts. Nexi solo. So it is 3-rail. If you look there, you can see the third rail actually are these short little nubs, but they are metal. And then the nice thing about the C-Track is everything underneath, and you can plug anything in onto the track. So when you're doing a turnout, you don't have to drop any bus wires. You don't have to do any drop wires. You fit the motor. This is a long turnout. You can see the 3-rail all the way through it. But you have the, you can fit the motor and the decoder. When you want to make it digital, they both fit under here. They plug into the tabs on the track. Easy peasy. And just, it's a brilliant system. You do sacrifice a little bit of reality or a lot of reality depending on how much work you put into it. But it's, I know Kato for N scale is amazing, their Unitrack system. Personally, I think C-Track is better. But that's a personal opinion, not proven by anything. Yeah, I understand that, Rick. I understand that. Let's see, let's get back to trains. Let's see how the floor is doing. Actually, we never did any of the quads. But let's go to the floor first. There's floor cam. Oh, it's tilted again. That stupid Batman tilt. Yeah, Piko Express is okay. I've seen it. I've seen layouts with it. But it doesn't have the options that Märklin C-Track does. At least that I've ever noticed. Yeah. Yeah, but that's what... But Jean Ricard, because K-Track is their realistic track. You know, it's the stuff you put on your layout that looks realistic. Whereas the M-Track was pre-bedded and the C-Track was pre-bedded. So I know K-Track came later and before C-Track, but I was just talking about the transition from metal to plastic. The M track to plastic, because yes, it did go M and then K and then C, but it was M and then M and K, and then M was replaced by C track. All right, well, thanks for hanging with us here, Rick and Pauline. Best wishes to you. Hope you have a great Easter if you celebrate. Take care. Now, the one thing that never seemed to catch on was there was a company that was making bedded track, or they were making the bed. Oh, that's, yeah. He's had, that's his second time he's just suddenly stopped today. Sometimes you just kick up the speed, but he stopped where he just passed, and now he's hit that point. He stops on curves now and then because that front bogie is so loose on it. It is such poor design. That front bogie is so loose on it that as it goes around curves, the bogie actually can lose contact with the rail. It's just, I'm going to start becoming like Andy when I mention Hornby. Although on the flip side, my Hornby Azuma, which is not running today, but will be back next week, that Hornby Azuma is Hornby, obviously, and it's gorgeous. I love it. It runs well, nice and smooth. It's a well-made model. But for that same price, I could have gotten an ICE 3 5-car set or an ICE 4 5-car set that had a lot more functions on it. But it's still very cool. Well, yeah, you can't find, like Jim from Hover Motion, who was here earlier. He has, I think he still is, but he's talked about if he wants to find as much Fleischman Profi track as he can because they stopped making it now, and it's becoming harder and harder to find because everybody's hoarding their stock of it. Yeah, was it that one? Conrad. Yeah, because they made it and it looked much more like real ballast, but it was almost a foam. And you could fit almost any brand of HO into it, and it was better than the pre-bedded. You know, again, to me, that's the downside of C-Track, is this, that it's the pre-bedded, even though there's plenty of ballast in Germany that is this color, you know, and C-Track is clearly popular because they keep making it. And if you go onto the YouTube and all the German Märklin channels, I would say more than half of the guys that run Märklin trains use C-Track and not K-Track, of those that use that between the two. You know, there's a lot of channels that use the old M-Track, M for metal, and then K was Kunststoff, and then because they couldn't use the German word for click, which is K, because they already had K-Track, they went with the anglicized spelling click, C-Track. But I love C-Track. I'm glad I went with it. Whoops, I sped up the wrong one. I didn't want to speed that one up. I wanted to speed this one up just a little bit before we get going here. But, yeah, I've seen that one, Evo. I've seen that on channels. Because there are a couple of guys that do specialize in DDR, East German stuff. And of course, Piko, I believe, was a DDR company, or started, you know, as was in East Germany when the split occurred. I mean, they started before the country was split, if I remember correctly. Yeah, C-Track is their track for HO3 rail, but again, they also have K-Track, which is Märklin track for HO. It's the realistic looking track and not the pre-bed. It's unbedded, if you want to put it that way. So Märklin has 2, but C-Track is by far and away much more popular than K-Track. Now, I know a couple of channels that, like I think Ian Houston uses K-Track on his amazing layout. And there's a couple other guys that I know use K-Track. Actually, what's for dinner tonight? I'm actually fetching, but it's going to be ice cream sundaes. Our local ice cream shop has opened for the season, and so instead of dinner, we're just going to have dessert. But that's how we are able to do it. Instead of eating dinner and then getting dessert, we just have dessert for dinner. Yeah, and and yeah, Raymond, C-Track is easier to work with because it's not fish plates. K-Track is fish plates. And again, you can hide all the motors and decoders for the turnouts right under the track, wire it straight into the track. So no drop wiring, where even with K-Track, you have to do some drop wiring to digitalize the turnouts and stuff. And so I am very happy that I fell into Märklin and Märklin C-Track. It's a little frustrating because there was a shop that was about an hour away, but he closed 5 years ago. So now the closest shop to buy track from is a over 2 hour drive if I want to buy track. So usually I just add, if I need track, I add it on to one of my LIPA orders. I would like to support a local shop, but I don't have a local shop to support. And if I'm going to buy online, I'm going to get the cheapest deal, and it's cheaper for me to buy stuff from Germany than from Renaud's or other places. Yeah, I don't see that they would ever need to do that, Raymond, because Z-Scale is two rail DC as opposed to AC anyhow. No, in fact, this has been the cheapest week for train stuff ever. I haven't spent any money on trains ever. The last couple of weeks I've had some big purchases, and this week I didn't buy anything. No, we just, normally we talk about dinner at this time, but Joyce can't talk, so she can't say, she can't verbally announce, I'm getting hungry. Yeah, there's a lot of companies, and Evo and you guys, Raymond, you, Evo, Jean Ricard, Raymond here, some of you guys, you know so much more about that stuff than me because you know either trains and model trains, or at least model trains. You know the history of these companies. I'm totally new. Until 3 years ago, I wouldn't have talked about anything other than what I knew about Märklin. And even then, I don't know everything about Märklin. I still barely know my modern, I know the way the rail system works in Germany, and I know how C-Track works. And even then, I will get electrical engineers who will argue, Märklin is not AC, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll get another electrical engineer that will say, yes, it technically is still AC, 3-rail, blah, 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 blah. And I let those guys argue it out. They call it 3-rail. They call it Wechselstrom, which is alternating current. So that's what I go with. And I know it still works differently. Even if the current is applied in a DC way, it's still set up in a 3-rail setup. Yeah, because normally we order. Friday nights is normally order or takeout. And usually we just have it delivered. And all I know about the UK rail system is what I watch from channels and learn about the different companies. Now, I've watched a lot of UK channels over the years, and I now have how many different Hornbys do I now have? The Mallard. I have the Mallard, the Azuma, and the two, the Eurostar and the singles. So I've got 4 Hornby trains. I think I've got 4 Hornby trains. Let's go to that view for a bit. Nobody ever notices the little white ape down in the corner there. He's just sitting there. Yeah, that's true, Raymond. I'd agree with that. Yeah, that's a ridiculous price. It did not cost that guy remotely that much money to get that into Australia. Yeah, Ifo, and again, I let the electrical guys really argue that because, yes, internally they kind of operate as DC, and they have to put a special bit inside to make it work because originally motors were AC, and so to get it to work, so internally they are DC, but the way the power is still supplied is technically AC. C.A. Randall? Oh, see ya, Randall. All right, Randall, take care. More of you to come on Monday. There's a new Matt Clarke episode out tomorrow, but that involves, that's in the mayor's office. Tomorrow is the mayor's office scene, and then Monday is the gang returns. The four-finger death punch returns on Monday, so you will see your character again on Monday. And Randall, before you leave, you're going to love your character on Monday. It's hysterical. Or maybe you're going to hate it, but it's hysterical either way. Oh yeah, and I'm that way too. I mean, I cringe at the prices I do pay for my ICE4s or my Railjets. But, like, if I need something fixed, I either see if my guy in California can do it, and that can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months or more. Or I can send it to the shop in Virginia, and they take 6 months to a year to get stuff back. So sometimes, like my one Czech Railjet locomotive, I just bought a new one. It was faster and easier to get the new one than to send the old one out and keep getting it fixed. But the first one was a Piko cheapo that I got converted to AC to work on the Märklin system here. And then I just, it just kept losing its power and running badly. I'd clean it, get it tuned up, send it up to get repaired. And I finally just gave up and I bought the new Piko one, which is running better. Although the old one, when I first got it, was nice. I loved it. But 5 years of running up the incline on here, it just, either I didn't clean it well enough often enough, or it was a Piko. And of the three of the big companies, big German companies, which to me are Märklin, Brava, and when I say German speaking, because obviously Roco is Austrian, and I think Brava is Austrian. No, Brava's German. They're Salzgitter. No, yeah. But yeah, to me, the 5 big German companies now are Märklin, Roco, Fleischman, one company, Piko, Brava, and you almost now want to throw ESU up in there as they're getting bigger and bigger with their trains. But Piko is the one that has the widest range of quality, from very crappy to really good. Märklin is consistently good. Roco is consistently good. And I just had a conversation with a gentleman from Germany yesterday on one of my older videos, where, well, actually, no, it was on my mail call with the 2 new cars, and he was talking about that Roco is better because they do better work on the interior of stuff than Märklin does, and Märklin charges more money than Roco. And I don't know that the interior of cars and wagons by Roco is better, but you know, it's hard to tell. Roco's best quality and Märklin's best quality are probably equal in my eyes. I'm not such a blind Märklin person that I say they make the best and everybody else is crap. Piko makes really good, but Piko can also make really bad, and I've had that from experience and talking to many other modelers, where, yeah, they buy the low-end Piko and it's crap. But there are guys in the world that do 3-rail who won't buy Märklin anymore. They think Märklin quality went downhill in the 90s and never came back. Now, I would argue against that. I would say I think Märklin quality is pretty good right now, but Märklin doesn't rule the world in terms of quality the way they did pre-1987. Oh, 601. Sorry, dear. You can't tap me on the shoulder. But yeah. Yep, it is 601. 1 minute I had 20 minutes and now it's over. So you want to start? Oh. I bumped that one. Those had different lights on than they should have. So, well, there we go. Oh, that little P. He stops on a dime, though. Are you getting them? Oh, you're just bringing them around. Okay. Anyhow, yeah, it is that time. It is 6 o'clock. We've been rambling away. And on behalf of, we want to thank you all for, once again, spending your Friday evening, your Good Friday evening, which I guess being with me is a bad Friday evening, but there it is. But anyhow, it's always awesome to have you guys. Take care. And, hey, don't steal our line, Jean Ricard. Don't steal our ending. You can do it on your own live streams, but don't jump the gun on ours. Everybody likes to leave first, like they think the checks are coming. You know, we had 42 likes and it went down to 41. Somebody took a like off. Damn. Sorry. Got back. But anyhow, on behalf of the mute one, I will say Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next week on the stream. Please watch Matt Clarke. Join in and watch Matt Clarke and leave comments on Matt Clarke. Thank you.